All right. So, good day, everybody. We will be having our new lesson to the subject multicultural diversity in the workplace. So, our second topic is self awareness and cultural sensitivity in the workplace. So, to move forward, let's read our agenda for today's lesson. So, the first one is understand the importance of multicultural diversity in the workplace, identify workplace stereotypes, prejudices, and biases, learn how to apply cultural competence in professional context. So, these are the learning points that you should be able to acquire at the end of our discussion. So, first is let's discuss why do workplace diversity matter? So bakit nga ba mahalaga ang workplace diversity? Okay, ano ba yung nakukuha natin ditong benefits? Okay, when we are working in a diverse workplace. Okay, so now what are the benefits of workplace diversity? Okay? So the first one is innovation. So we all know that in a multicultural workplace, there are different nationalities, there are different culture, there are different experiences coming from one place to another. And we all know that two heads is better than one. That's why innovation sparks, okay, creativity in a workplace. Since marami yung experiences from one place to another, maraming taong nag-iisip, maraming taong um, merong different creativity, merong different ideas, then there are a lot of um, what do you call this, ideas when it comes to projects or outputs ng isang organizations or ng isang company. Another one is pool of experts. So, when we say pool of experts, there are a lot of talents working in an organization where diversity is taken in consideration. So, the more that there are a lot of different cultures and nationalities working in a certain organization, then there are a lot of talents, okay, that can be used or can be leverage para mas mag-progress or mag-develop ang isang organization. And lastly, syempre kapag mas maraming nationalities, mas maraming diverse workforce na nagtatrabaho sa isang organization, then yung branding or yung reputation ng organization ay mas nagiging mas malakas, 'di ba? Sino bang hindi gustong magtrabaho sa isang multinational or globally competitive company where there are a lot of nationalities na pwede nating um, makabuild ng rapport, okay, in order for us to better sustain our professional and personal growth. Okay? Next, self-awareness in the workplace. So, what is self-awareness in the workplace? So, when we say self-awareness in the workplace, it means knowing yourself, your feelings, actions, and values, and understanding how this affect your work and how you get along with people from different cultures. So, you have to remember that self-awareness is a common or core component of intelligence or emotional intelligence. And it is a vital for personal growth and professional success. So, laging tatandaan, class, that when we say self-awareness, it is about knowing yourself in the workplace, how are you going to control yourself, how to improve yourself, while being mindful on how you affect others. Okay? And please remember as well that uh, it acts as the foundation for leadership, teamwork, and customer service excellence. Why? Because if you are self-aware on yourself, or if you are aware on how you behave in different scenarios, then you will control your actions, you will control your responses, you will control your feelings, especially when you are working in a different kinds of workplace. Next, what are the types of self-awareness? Okay? First is internal self-awareness. So when we say internal self-awareness, it is knowing yourself well. Okay? It includes your values, your strength, your weaknesses, your likes, your dislikes, and your goals. Okay? It is about you. It is about how you manage yourself. Okay? Knowing your do you call this? Knowing your capabilities, knowing your competencies is part of your internal self-awareness. For example, you are realizing that you get stress under pressure. That's why you prepare early to manage it. Diba? Ayaw mo nang nararatel, ayaw mo nang minamadali, ayaw mo nang nape-pressure. That's why when you are working in an organization, you prepare your reports ahead of time or you submit your documents ahead of time. Kasi ayaw mo nga nang nape-pressure. Okay? And next type is yung external self-awareness. So when we say external self-awareness, it is how others see you. Okay, this is about being aware of how your behavior, words, and actions affect people around you. Meaning, this concerns about your actions when you are around with people or when you are in a certain situations. Paano ka ba kumikilos? Paano ka ba nagre-react? And how do you manage your reactions or your responses? Okay? Example nito, halimbawa, when you are reporting or nagfa-facilitate ka ng isang seminar, and then napansin mo na masyado ng mabilis yung pagsasalita mo, and nakita mo na hindi na makasunod yung mga kasamahan mo or yung mga nakikinig sa'yo, then what will you do? Siyempre, babagalan mo yung pagsasalita mo. That's what we call external self-awareness. Okay, we are being aware on what happened within our environment or in the situations where we are currently belong. Next, types of workplace awareness. So, meron tayong two types of self-awareness, yung internal and external self-awareness. Ngayon, ano naman yung mga types ng workplace awareness? So, we have four: emotional, behavioral, values, and cultural. So, isa-isahin natin. First is emotional awareness. So, when we say emotional awareness, this means knowing and controlling your feelings in different cultural situations or in different workplace situations. So, when it comes to your feelings or your emotions, paano mo ba siya minamanage during different situations? So, how do you take good care or understand your behavior when it comes to your emotions? So, for example, you are working with a Japanese colleague. Okay? Tapos, lagi siyang mahaba or it involves long silences because yung mga Japanese kasi ang tagal nila lagi mag-isip. Okay? They are always thinking carefully bago sila nagre-respond sa isang questions or sa isang scenario. So ikaw, instead of feeling awkward or madaliin mo sila para mawala yung silence during the meeting, so you stay patient and composed. So nire-respect mo yung communication style nila. So that's what we call emotional awareness. Another example ng emotional awareness, you are a front office agent in a certain hotel and your customer is shouting at you because of frustration. Okay, so what will you do? Sisigawan mo na rin ba siya? Magagalit ka na rin ba doon? Hindi, 'di ba? You have to manage your emotions kasi galit na nga siya. So ikaw hindi ka dapat sumasabay doon sa galit niya. Same with your boss. Kunyari pinapagalitan ka ng boss mo or sinasabihan ka niya. 'Di ba? What will you do? Sasagot ka ba? Okay lang namang sumagot ka, but you have to manage your emotions, you have to manage your body language, you have to manage your uh, tone of voice. Okay? So, or sinisigaw-sigawan ka doon ng kliyente, iiyak ka ba sa harap niya? Okay? Or magwo-walling ka na ba doon? So, you have to manage your emotions all the time when you are in the workplace. Next, behavioral awareness. When we say behavioral awareness, this means being careful about how you act since actions can mean different things in different cultures. Okay? Yung mga body language natin. Okay, paano ba tayo kumikilos sa organizations natin or sa trabaho natin. So, we have to take in consideration those actions as well kasi baka ma-misinterpret tayo ng iba nating mga katrabaho. Kasi sa atin akala natin okay lang yung actions na yon, pero sa kanila pala iba yung meaning. For example, katulad ng sinabi ko kanina, 'di ba? Sa Middle East, yung ah, what do you call this, yung pag-cross ng legs with your foot pointing at someone can be offensive kasi para sa kanila you are flirting with them, 'di ba? Pero para sa atin hindi, normal lang 'yon. So you have to be mindful. Another example, you sit in a way that avoids this gesture to show respect. Okay? So, hindi ka uupo ng ganun or hindi mo i-cross yung legs mo, 'di ba? Tapos ipo-point mo pa dun sa kausap mo kasi nga hindi ganun yung culture nila. So, you have to be aware with your behavioral awareness. Another example, sa mga western countries, yung hugging and kissing, normal lang yun sa kanila as way of saying hi or hello. Okay? So, normal lang yun sa kanila. But with us, hindi tayo sanay sa ganon. So, you have to adjust as well your behavior. Next, value awareness. So, means recognizing that people's behavior are guided by their cultural values and those values may be different from yours. So, katulad ng sinabi ko, class, magkakaiba tayo ng kinalakihang paniniwala, kinalakihang way of living, kinalakihang behaviors and preferences. That's why we have to be mindful with our actions. Okay? So example, sa US, may mga empleyado na open sila na i-challenge or questionin yung ideya ng kanilang manager. And normal lang yun. Okay? Kasi sila ay low power distance, meaning pantay-pantay sa kanila. Everybody can share thoughts or information in a certain topic, whether you are a rank and file or a manager. But in China, if you question your manager in public, so magiging disrespectful ka na nun. Kasi hindi yun yung values nila, hindi yun yung culture nila. That's why understanding these differences helps you adjust your approach. Okay? Para hindi kayo magkaroon ng conflict. Next, cultural awareness. So, ganun din, you have to realize that your own culture shapes how you behave, how you think, how you work. And yung kultura ng iba sa nakasanayan mong kultura. That's why you have to understand each and one another cultures. For example, sa ating mga Pilipino, 'di ba, binavalue natin yung pakikisama. Okay, we value interpersonal relationships. That's why we prioritize group consensus. Inaas natin lahat yung boto ng nakakarami. Tapos yun yung susundin natin. Or hindi na lang tayo nagsasalita sa isang meeting kahit na disagree tayo dun sa sinasabi niya kasi ayaw natin ng conflict. But when we are working with Americans who value directness, so okay lang sa kultura nila yung pagiging direct to the point or straightforward when it comes to communication. Okay? So, yun yung best example natin doon. Kahit negative or positive yung sasabihin niya, as long as they can voice it out, then it's still okay for them. But sa atin, dahil nga meron tayong value ng harmony and relationships or pakikisama, kinikip na lang natin yung mga gusto nating sabihin concerns kasi ayaw natin ng conflict. Next, biases. What do we mean when we say biases? So it is a tendency or preferences, whether positive or negative, toward one group, person, or idea over one another, often unconsciously. In short, favoritism. Okay, minsan meron na pala tayong favorites or meron na tayong bias. Meron na tayong side na pinipili nang hindi natin namamalayan. So biases also creates conflict in the workplace. Okay? And we should also be sensitive when it comes to biases. Okay? Because our biases is equivalent to our actions and behavior that influences our decisions and treatments of others. Okay? So, minsan naiiba yung treatment natin sa katrabaho natin or sa mga clients natin or sa customers natin kasi nga meron tayong biases or meron tayong favoritism. For example, yung isang manager sa isang organization, lagi niyang pinapaboran yung mga lalaking empleyado sa promotion kasi naniniwala siya na men are better leaders. So, anong magiging connotation nun? So, may bias siya sa mga kalalakihan kasi ang tingin niya or ang preferences niya kapag lalaki, mas magaling mag-lead. Okay? So, anong magiging impact nun sa workplace? Okay? So, it affects the decision making when it comes to hiring, to promotions, to teamwork, and customer service. So, lalaki lang ba ang pwedeng ma-promote? 'Di ba? So, magkakaroon na agad ng unfair treatment or ng unfair selection for promotion. Kasi nga, yung manager, meron na agad siyang favoritism or meron na siyang bias when it comes to hiring higher positions. Okay? And yung other one naman, class, is yung prejudices. When we say prejudices, ito yung judgment natin, okay, towards a group or a certain person na wala naman tayong enough evidences or facts or reasons. Pero gina-judge na agad natin sila. For example, may dumating na bagong employee tapos sabi nung katrabaho mo, "Ay, kilala ko 'yan si John. Nakatrabaho ko 'yan dun sa dating company. Tamad 'yan, tsaka mayabang." Ikaw, naniwala ka agad kay Ryan kahit hindi mo pa naman nakakatrabaho si John. Wala ka pa namang evidences or actual information or facts na ganun talaga siya. Pero dahil sinabi ni Ryan na tamad at mayabang si John, may prejudices ka na agad, may judgment ka na agad without giving enough facts or reason. Okay? So, yun yung tinatawag nating prejudices. And we also have to remember that it affects our attitudes and beliefs towards someone's. 'Di ba? Naiiba na agad yung pagtingin or paniniwala natin sa isang tao kahit hindi pa naman natin siya nakakasalamuha or nakakausap. Kasi nga, na-judge na agad natin sila. Okay? So, example, we believe that foreign workers are lazy. 'Di ba? Yung mga foreigner tamad agad kahit hindi pa naman natin sila nakakatrabaho. So anong magiging impact nun sa workplace natin? Magkakaroon ng unfair treatment. Magkakaroon ng exclusion, hindi na tayo makikihalubilo sa kanila or hindi na natin sila bibigyan ng chance para patunayan yung sarili nila kasi nga na-judge na natin sila. Okay, that's the difference between biases and prejudices. Now, there are two types of biases. The first one is yung explicit bias. Pag sinabi nating explicit bias, open and intentional, meaning aware ka na meron kang favoritism or meron kang bias. So, yung discrimination ay ine-express mo siya directly and consciously. For example, yung hiring managers openly or hindi niya sinisikret na ayaw niyang mag-hire ng older employees because yung mga matatandang empleyado hindi na nila kayang maka-keep up sa technology. So, yun ay unfair and discrimination. Explicit bias yun. Kasi pinagsisigawan niya or sinasabi niya talaga. Okay, another example, isang supervisor, sinabihan yung isang female employee na I don't think women are suited for leadership roles. So, yun ay explicit bias kasi you told the employees directly or you tell the employees directly na kapag babae ka, hindi ka pwedeng mag-handle ng leadership roles. Okay? And yung isa naman, implicit bias. When we say implicit bias, subconscious preferences, meaning hidden or nakatago. Okay? Hindi mo napapansin na yung attitude or yung stereotype mo or yung behavior mo ay nagkakaroon na ng favoritism na hindi mo nare-realize na nagagawa mo na pala siya or na po-portray mo na pala siya. For example, yung isang manager lagi niyang ina-assign yung mga kalalakihan sa mga technical tasks kasi naniniwala ay sorry. Yung isang manager, lagi niyang ina-assign yung mga kalalakihan sa technical task, ta's yung mga babae hina-handle yung mga administrative work, without realizing na meron na siyang assumption na based sa gender, na kapag babae, administrative task lang yung puwedeng gawin, kapag lalaki, technical task lang yung puwedeng gawin, 'di ba? Another example naman, during promotion decisions, yung mga employer, 'di ba? Meron silang pakiramdam na better fit yung candidate na kaparehas nila ng school, kaparehas nila ng accent, kaparehas nila ng background, kaparehas nila ng favorite color, without realizing na nagiging bias na sila or nagiging unfair na yung treatment nila. Na porket ay, nung sinabi niya favorite color niya red, sige iha-hire ko siya kasi red din yung favorite color ko eh. O kaya, ay, she looks so magaling or she looks so um, what do you call this? Confident. So, nagkakaroon na agad tayo ng discrimination because of our implicit biases, yung mga subconscious preferences natin. 'Di ba? So, these are the two types of bias. Explicit, open sinasabi. Okay, direct, hindi tinatago. Implicit bias, hindi siya openly na pa-practice or hindi siya openly na ipapakita. Okay? Next, cultural stereotype. So, ano ba yung cultural stereotype? So, what is stereotyping? So, when we say stereotyping, it is a mistaken idea or belief that many people have about a thing or group that is based upon how they look on the outside, which may be untrue or only partly true. In short, class, when we say stereotyping, we assume that everyone in that group has the same traits, behavior, or abilities, even though hindi naman. Okay? So, nilalahat natin, gine-generalize natin, okay, na hindi naman lahat ay applicable para sa isang grupo or para sa isang situation. But we tend to generalize everything. Okay? So, yung stereotyping kasi class, it ignores individuality. Kahit hindi ka naman ganun dahil bilong ka sa ganung grupo, napapasama ka. And nagke-create siya ng unfair expectations, discrimination, and biases, especially sa isang society or sa isang trabaho. Now, there are two forms of um, stereotyping. The first one is positive stereotype, meaning merong generalization about a group of people that attributes favorable, desirable, or beneficial qualities to them. Meaning, hina-highlight dito yung good traits or yung mga positive characteristic. But, ina-assume natin na lahat ng members doon sa grupo na yon pare-parehas na merong positive um, characteristics. Pero hindi naman talaga. Kasi nga, hindi naman fit para sa lahat. For example, we generalize that all Asians are always good at math. Sound positive, tama? But it pressures individual who may not excel in math. Kasi hindi naman lahat ng Asians matalino or magaling sa math. Diba? Another one, Filipinos are naturally hospitable. While many, karamihan sa atin ay hospitable, pero hindi rin naman lahat hospitable. 'Di ba? Hindi naman din lahat welcoming. Meron din namang mga Pilipinong rude, 'di ba? Another one, women are naturally caring, 'di ba? Kasi we assume na kapag babae, nurturing yung roles, 'di ba? Pero nalilimit natin yung career opportunity sa mga kababaihan. So that's what we call positive stereotyping. Though maganda siya, yung pinapakita niyang attribute, pero nagke-create pa rin siya ng discrimination and unfair treatment. And next is yung negative stereotyping. So pag sinabi naman nating negative stereotyping, inaccurate or often harmful yung paniniwala natin towards a certain group or of people. Meaning, nag-i-involve to ng unfavorable assumptions. Okay? Na meron tayong mga judgments or mga ina-assume na traits or characteristics ng isang individuals or ng isang group na hindi naman talaga applicable para sa lahat. And it also highlight yung mga weaknesses na nagre-results to prejudices, biases, and discrimination. 'Di ba? Nagre-reduce din 'to ng opportunities at saka damage yung self-esteem. Kasi nilalahat natin na silang karakteristik nila negative kahit hindi naman. Best example nito, lahat ng matatanda hindi marunong sa technology, hindi magaling sa technology. But no, 'di ba? There are a lot of boomers nowadays, meron din naman talagang inclined sa technology at nakakasabay sila sa digital age natin, 'di ba? So kapag generalize natin na lahat ng matanda ay hindi marunong sa technology, then yung age nila magkakaroon ng discrimination sa hiring. Ay, hindi ko na 'to iha-hire, matanda na 'to, hindi na 'to marunong mag-computer. Or ay, hindi ko na 'to iha-hire, matanda na 'to, hindi na 'to makakagawa ng Excel or ng PowerPoint presentation. So, negative stereotyping agad, 'di ba? Another one, men are too aggressive in the workplace. So, negative trait na agad 'yon, 'di ba? Na normal naman maging assertive, maging proactive sa trabaho, pero generalize natin na yung mga lalaki ay masyadong ano, aggressive when it comes to the workplace kahit hindi naman talaga. Next, categories of stereotypings in the workplace. So ano-ano ba yung mga stereotypes na nakikita natin sa organization or sa trabaho? So meron tayong 5. Isa-isahin natin tong national, racial, gender, occupational, and lifestyle. The first one class is national stereotype. So it has a generalization about people based on their nationality. So we assume that everyone from a country acts the same way. So we ignore their differences in personality, region, or upbringing. So one of the best example nito is lahat ba ng Americans loud and lahat ba ng Japanese disciplined? So hindi rin naman, 'di ba? So, lahat ba ng Filipino hospitable? Hindi rin, 'di ba? So, we generalize yung mga characteristic nila based on their nationalities. So, but we have to always remember, class, that while some traits may be common due to culture, but applying them to every individual is unfair. Okay? Kasi baka hindi naman lahat pare-parehas and gine-generalize lang natin. Next, racial stereotyping. So, ano bang ibig sabihin when we say racial stereotyping? So, this involve assumptions about person's abilities, intelligence, or behavior based on their race or skin color. 'Di ba? So, for example, black employees are athletic. Pag black employees lang ba athletic? So, pag hindi black employees, hindi na athletic. 'Di ba? Asians are brainy. 'Di ba? Kapag Asians lang ba brainy, so kapag Americans hindi na brainy, kapag Europeans hindi na brainy, 'di ba? So, we generalize things or characteristics based on their skin colors. So, bakit nga ba siya nagma-matters, 'di ba? So, it reinforce kasi inequality na gine-generalize natin based on their skin colors. Next, gender stereotyping, 'di ba? May paniniwala na ang mga kababaihan at ang mga kalalakihan ay born only for a certain roles and behavior, 'di ba? Na men and women should behave on the roles that they should play based on their gender. Okay? So for example, women are too emotional for leadership. So bakit lahat ba ng women ay emotional when it comes to leadership? There are a lot of women who are leading nations, 'di ba? Another one, men should not show vulnerability. So mali 'yon. Pag balalaki ka, hindi ka na pwedeng mag-express ng feelings mo. They also have their own emotions. They also have their own feelings. And it's okay for them to show vulnerability. That doesn't mean na nag-show ka ng kahinaan ay hindi ka na lalaki. Do you get my point? Okay, another example. Women belong in caregiving jobs. Men belong in technical jobs. So we categorize our um, generalization based on gender. So, gender stereotypings limit opportunities. 'Di ba? It contribute workplace inequality and we discourage individuals from pursuing their true interests and skills. Halimbawa, lalaki siya pero gusto niya naman talaga maging flight attendant. Gusto niya maging nurse. So, dahil lang may gender stereotyping, hindi niya yun nagagawa. Kasi nga, baka ma-judge siya or baka ma-discriminate siya or malimit yung opportunities niya. Okay? Next, occupational um, stereotypes. So, we labels people based on their profession, 'di ba? Nilalabelan natin sila based on their work or based on their job na nire-reduce natin yung single trait, 'di ba? So, example, nurses are caring, lawyers are greedy. So, teachers are patient and nurturing. So, hindi naman lahat ng nurses caring, 'di ba? Kasi may mga nurses nga na nagkaroon ng conflict or ng problem when it comes to patient handling. And lawyers are greedy. Laging na natin na misinterpret na pera-pera lang yung mga lawyers. But no, kasi kahit suspect pinagtatanggol nila. So, let's do not mix personal versus professional work. They are lawyers because that's their job responsibilities. That's their job descriptions. Okay? So, bakit ba nagmamatter yon? So, there are some traits that fit certain professions but not all. So individuals in the same fields are the same. Okay, stereotypes kasi when it comes to occupational setting can create unfair expectations and biases towards workers in those jobs na kapag what do you call this, kapag ang nurses hindi na caring. So, what will happen? So, lawyers, lagi natin sinasabi, dishonest. So, what will happen if we generalize those things? Next, lifestyle stereotypes. So, we judge people based on their abilities, values, or intelligence based on their background or way of life, 'di ba? Their judgment when it comes to social classes or kung paano sila namumuhay. For example, employees from rural areas are less skilled. So pag galing sa probinsya, hindi na magaling. Or kapag galing sa city, mayayabang yung mga tao. Or kapag vegetarians, health obsessed na. So, hindi naman siya ganon in reality, 'di ba? But we generalize things. So, and these stereotypes overlook personal differences and preferences. And we often discriminate against people from certain backgrounds na nagkikreate ng divisions and equality towards one another. So, yun yung mga stereotypes sa workplace. Now, cultural competence. Ma'am, ano po ba yung cultural competence? So, hindi ko na to babasahin but I would like to discuss it to you in a very simple way that you will understand it. Pag sinabi nating simple competence class, it means being aware of culture differences and adapting your behavior to communicate and work well with others. Okay? So it is not just about knowing other cultures, but it's also about adjusting your attitude, communication, and actions to avoid misunderstanding and build respect. In short, paano pa ba natin mas mapapataas yung abilities and competencies natin para mas maging respectful and understanding tayo sa different cultures ng mga nakakasalamuhan natin sa trabaho or sa isang organization. Okay? So we have yung ginagamit natin yung model ni Kapinha Bacote. So si Kapinha Bacote si Josepa. So si Josepa Kapinha Bacote, gumawa siya ng isang model noong 2002 that explain cultural competence journey na on how are we going to effectively work or working with individuals from diverse cultural backgrounds. So meron siyang ginawang framework. And dun sa framework na yon, ito yung 5 na kailangan yung tandaan in order for you to enhance your competencies in accepting, respecting, and working harmoniously with different backgrounds. The first one class is cultural awareness. So when we say cultural awareness, you have to recognize your own cultural background, biases, and assumptions. Okay? So alamin mo ano ba yung likes, dislikes mo, preferences mo, so that you are aware with your actions, with your behavior. Okay? Next, cultural knowledge. So you have to learn about other cultures, traditions, values, and practices so that you can dig deeper with those information. So for example, you are working in an organization na belong sa isang multinational brand. So you attend different cultural sensitivity trainings so that you can learn a lot of informations about a certain culture that you can use and apply to your current workplace settings. Cultural skills. So you have to develop ability to communicate and work with people from diverse backgrounds. So for example, you learn different dialects or language or sign language or body language, posture, actions, facial expression so that you can help your co-employees and your guests to communicate harmoniously with one another. And cultural encounters. So, syempre, in order for you to learn more about the cultures of different people, you have to immerse yourself. Okay? You have to dig deeper. You have to, what do you call this? Kailangan mo makihalubilo sa kanila. You have to jibe yourselves. Make yourselves comfortable, okay, with their culture so that you can really analyze and know how they act, how they think, what are their cultures, so on and so forth. Okay, so you have to refine and understand those people culture so that you can reduce your stereotyping. You engage with them. Okay? And lastly, cultural desire. Siyempre, yung genuine motivation and willingness mo to want and engage with different cultures and to respect other values and traditions. So, in short, it comes from the heart, not because it's required, in order for you to communicate and work with them harmoniously. Okay? And that's the end of our discussion.